It's Brittany Krause, and I am going to provide you a woefully inadequate overview of the McGraw-Hill Inspire Science curriculum. This is our new science curriculum. It is a general education curriculum. And so if you are an ASR or a PLS teacher who is looking at implementing this within your classrooms, you will have to talk to the general education grade level teacher in order to get their login code. And they also have kits in their classroom. So you should be able to access any of the experiment materials. They've got some little magazines in there. They've got student workbooks. Those are all in the general education classrooms, okay? In those kits. So once you get the login code, you are going to need to sign in. It's right on the McGraw-Hill website. It's the same exact login as Wonders, okay? And you will go in. I'm in Susan Zonlow's right now in 4th grade. As you can see, we've got our Wonders over here. I'm going to click on Inspire Science on the right-hand side. And this is, I'm going to launch the 4th grade. All right, and this is their kind of dashboard, their main page here. And yeah, so you can kind of mess around and see what all of the different components are. There's a lot of additional resources. This curriculum does have a lot of resources, you guys. I do not want you to be overwhelmed by all of them. They are there because this particular curriculum is trying very hard to provide multiple different ways for students to access that curriculum. It's trying to provide some differentiation materials, and it's providing a lot of resources for teachers. So if you have students in your science class only once per week, or, you know, only for 20 minutes a couple times a week, that you have a lot of different ways that you can provide access to those state standards for your students. And so in order to do that, it takes a lot of additional resources, and in my opinion, it's doing a really good job. It's very comprehensive, but it's going to take us all a little while to get used to it, okay? So please do not be overwhelmed. Just pay attention to the things that make sense for you and your students and your class, and what does not make sense for you, throw it aside and don't think about it. Okay. So when I look at this website, I'm going to notice some of these additional resources. If you are a teacher that is really struggling to get your students to participate in science and you're having a hard time, what I want you to think about doing is just using these investigators. If I could show you, I've got one with me. It's essentially a magazine that looks a little bit like Scholastic News, kind of, but a bigger version. And this is going to cover all of the content, but just in a more, you know, real world kind of way. And it's also providing some engineering, you know, ideas and concepts to your students. I would really like to make this smaller so you can see. Here we go, guys. Okay. Now I need my computer to move a little faster. Sorry, it's the end of the day, so I'm losing my mind. Okay, so this first unit is Force in Motion in 4th grade here. And so this is like a little article about driverless cars. If you have reading groups and your students are not doing science, or your families are like, please do not give my students science, this could be a way for you to squeeze in a little bit of science here or there by doing one of these in your reading groups, okay? You could provide this to your paraprofessional. They could come in and make some comprehension questions for you. And there are a few little comprehension questions, or kind of, I don't know, thoughts down here of, yeah, kind of like design your own car. So that might be something that is kind of cool and something that works for you in your classroom, okay? It also has this Impact News, which looks to me like it's more of a news website, and it's also got some social studies in here. I haven't looked too much into it, okay? But this might be a really good resource for you. Scientists link climate change to recent wildfires. So, it's just a little article, and you could have your paraprofessionals kind of use this as a guiding spot to make some comprehension activities or whatnot. Find a video, etc. Okay. So there's also some other things in here. I clicked on the storyline. It doesn't really seem to have anything going on. Here's a little video, Inspire Sparks. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure what that's about. But, and then it does have a program guide over here as well, okay? All right. So I just want to show you, those are kind of the additional resources. I want to show you some of these things over here. If you click on the actual course, it's going to bring you to the course that you are currently supposed to be in. Just like Wonders, you can set this up, or even Math Expressions, you can set it up to kind of pace you. So you can say like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to start on this date, and it kind of assumes that you're following the lesson perfectly. And so this is where your lesson would pop up if you were kind of following it. But yeah, of course, that's going to be something that we don't probably use too much. If you are a gen ed teacher and your students are rocking it and want to use the online login system, you could provide them assignments. You could grade their assignments. They would have assessments in here. So it's kind of a place for you to manage all of that, okay? So, but even in our dashboard, you can still get to the course just by clicking over here. Okay, so this little button or this one right here will give you access to the course. And you can see this looks pretty similar to that. So it's going to have a program overview, which might be something for you to look into. Again, it's got some resources. And then you can click on the module. And this is going to bring up, I'm going to minimize this so you can see kind of all of the different components of this module. So we've got the planning resources, the opener, the STEM project, a wrap-up, an assessment, a library. This library is going to have some vocabulary, some STEM connections, and then these are little books. They're leveled readers that... I'm trying to remember the color coding system. I think it's on level, beyond level, no, on level, approaching level, beyond level, and then the ELL. So these are going to be super cool little leveled readers that you guys, if you're using Wonders, these will look really familiar to you. So these are just science readers that are exactly the same. But then they're going to kind of cover that science concept. And I'm thinking they should have some reading comprehension at the end. Chapter 4, man, this is, in 4th grade, you guys are really reading. Okay, so then they've got some reading, summarizing and evidence-based kind of inquiry activities down there, okay? And then this will be actually that investigator that I showed you before that looks kind of like Scholastic News. These are the 2 investigators. They have 2 different versions. So I think blue is on level, and then I think that the orange is approaching level, okay? They've got worksheets for you to use. These are the worksheets that go along with, it looks like this one has the answers in. Okay, so it's the answers on top and then the blank version on the bottom. That's not really that many, but whatever. And then again, that's science news. So this is kind of what I was using when I was looking at it. This kind of like module library's got all of this stuff. Okay, so the other thing that I want you guys to know about is the launch presentation button. So this is kind of like a magic button. That is just going to start your presentation as if you were like day one, ready to rock. I don't want that to be there. Okay. And so what you can see is that it's kind of like a little opener right here. Where do roller coasters get the energy to go up and down hills? If you click on it, it just shows you the picture. It just like clicks on the picture. Next resource. This is the like launch the STEM, design a roller coaster. Yeah, so you can, if I were you, I would kind of just start by clicking on that start presentation, and I would just go through and find, look through all of the different things that it is showing you, and pull out the pieces that make sense for you. I would just take screenshots of them, put them in a PowerPoint, put them in, whatever, Google, whatever makes sense for you, okay? So then they do have like little, I don't know, tap on the circles below to learn more about each step. So it does have some interactive elements to it. And here's that reader. So it does have you reading that at some point. And then this is the module wrap up. Okay. And so this is where you can like go in and actually type your answer. All right. All right. And okay, so if you click down on this open tray, this is kind of got like all of those different pieces. So you can just click on, those if you want to look specifically at each of the things. Okay. So I don't know. To me, that was like something that really helped me to think about. It's essentially the lesson, right? It's just like in its presentation, kind of like ready to roll. In another video, I'm going to show you guys the lesson plans, and then I'm also going to show you some of these resources over here as well, because of course there is a lot. Lesson 2, we can click on that, and if you guys are feeling good, you can just launch that presentation. And you can see this one has kind of an interactive thing ready to go already. So you are answering a question. Here's an opener. Okay, so that's kind of what you guys are looking at for this particular website, and how to get started on utilizing some of those resources. Of course, I know it's a lot. Please send the academic department an email if you have any questions or need anything at all. We are more than happy to sit down and help you look through and sort through all of this stuff and see what makes sense for you. We're very excited that you are trying to implement this new science curriculum in the middle of a pandemic during distance learning in a special education classroom. You are seriously, this is like just absolutely astounding that you guys are even giving this a shot right now. We're very impressed with everything that you guys are trying, and we are here to support you 100%.